Have you recently rolled over your 401k into an IRA and then ask yourself, well, what am I supposed to be doing now? You see, if you've asked that question, you're not alone. And in this video, what I'm covering is the common mistakes that people make after they roll over their 401k into an IRA and how you can avoid them and how you could stay on track for your financial goals and dreams with your new IRA. And so tip number one that I have for you guys is don't roll over your 401k and then just set it and forget it and throw away the key. Okay. If you're managing your own investments, you want to review those investments and your account every 6 months. If you're working with a financial advisor, we recommend meeting annually, once every year, to reconnect with your financial advisor and make sure your plan is going according to plan. Now, while most people are going to think the most important thing is the rate of return, that's an important thing, right? But that's actually not the most important reason why you want to check up on your investments and your program and how it's doing. A lot of the challenges that come in investment accounts isn't always the rate of return. A lot of the times it's actually the communication between you and the investment company or you and the financial advisor that you're working with. You see, I can't tell you over the decade of experience that I have in this industry how many times someone's either moved, relocated, changed jobs, changed their bank account, and it's thrown some minor curveballs inside of a financial plan, right? Or they start missing contributions to their IRA that they wanted to do and things like that, right? It's really, really easy to accidentally have stuff fall through the cracks. And so you want to make sure to avoid things like that by reviewing your accounts and making sure all the information is up to date every 6 months to 1 year. Now, the other tip that I have for you why these annual reviews are important is if you're following our guides and investing into mutual funds, a mutual fund is run by a money manager. That money manager chooses which companies to invest our money in, the people of the public. And what's interesting about these mutual fund money managers is at any point, if they get a majority of the shareholders to agree with them, they actually could change the allocation of an investment to a different allocation. Okay. And so if you have not seen our video on how to optimize your IRA to your investment allocation, go ahead and click the link below this video in the description, and you can see our video on how to optimize and allocate your IRA to your investment style and your time frame. You see, that's really important because if a mutual fund that is a growth investment that's meant to grow and stuff over time and is going for home runs, if they choose to change to a conservative growth portfolio and you just started this investment, you have another 20 years to invest in it, but you're then getting a lower rate of return. It's not that it's a bad mutual fund, it's that they may have just changed their objective of the mutual fund. And so you want to be reviewing your stuff every 6 months to every year for sure. If you work with a financial advisor, a lot of the times they'll let you know if a mutual fund is changing its allocation and if that got approved and all that stuff, and they might have a recommendation to move to a new fund. But if you're doing that on your own, no one's going to reach out of their way to tell you that, okay? And so that is super, super important. I would actually put that as the number one reason, because investment objectives can change if a money manager feels like it would be more appropriate for the type of investors that they're investing for, okay? And so for those reasons are the ones that you want to make sure you're checking your account information and the mutual fund information and checking out the performance every 6 months to 1 year. So the second tip that I have for you is there is a failure to diversify. And so again, if you have not checked out our asset allocation video, make sure to watch that in the description. We have the link there for you on that. But having a failure to diversify your investment is a really, really big deal because it's going to impact your performance. You know, when you don't put all of your eggs in one basket and you have multiple companies that you're invested in, there's much less risk to losing a large portion of your money. And so one of the common things that people do is they fail to diversify rather than buying multiple assets in different industries and stuff like that. They'll buy one asset. I see that time and time again. And you don't, when it comes to your retirement, you don't want to gamble with that stuff. You want to do what you know works, and what works is having diversification. And so the third tip that I have for you guys is there is a failure to dipping into retirement savings too early. You see, depending on what type of IRA you have, there could be a lot of penalties and taxes for taking money out of an IRA. And so you want to avoid those. And so the solution to that problem is by having an emergency savings. We typically recommend saving outside of your IRA about 3 to 6 months of income or expenses saved. So that way, if you ever have a rainy day and you need access to some cash, which that's, by the way, that's not a credit card. Okay, don't use a credit card for your emergency fund. You want to have cash that you've saved for that you're not going to have to pay interest on. And so make a goal to have about 3 to 6 months of income or expenses saved outside of your IRA. Now that you've rolled it over, you don't want to be digging into that because of taxes and penalties and fees and stuff like that. And so tip number 5 is very closely related to number 4 because you don't want to take money out too early, but depending on what type of IRA you have, you also don't want to take money out too late. You see, that's called RMDs, or what we call required minimum distributions in the industry. And what required minimum distributions are is as of 2024, you need to start taking withdrawals out of a traditional IRA by age 73. Otherwise, the IRS is going to charge a 50% penalty on any money that's withdrawn after age 63. And so that's really, really important is you don't want to take out money too early because you'll get penalized. You also don't want to take it out too late or you'll also be penalized. And it's only because Uncle Sam, they want their money. You've been saving this money. It's been tax sheltered and stuff like that in an IRA, and they want their piece of the pie eventually. Then when they say eventually is by age 73 as of 2024, but in 2033, that will be age 75. Okay. So you want to make sure if you do have a traditional IRA, you do have required minimum distributions at age 73 as of 2024. And moving forward down the road, it's going to be a little bit later too. And so if you have a Roth IRA, there are actually no required minimum distributions for a Roth IRA because the government's already gotten their money on the tax on the way in. And tip number 6, you see, is now that you know about the benefit of a Roth IRA and you're like, hey, how do I convert my traditional IRA into a Roth IRA? If that's you and you would like to learn how to do that, there is an actual strategy for that. You see, if you have also not seen our video on how to do a backdoor Roth, then go ahead and click the link. I'll put the link in the description below this video, and you can check out how to convert over time a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA to avoid a lot of tax penalties and things like that in the future, and how to process that legally and do it with IRS standards. And lastly, if you've done a rollover into an IRA and you would like a post-rollover free customized analysis of your current IRA and its status, and if it can be improved upon, go ahead and click the link below this video and you can schedule a free consultation with my agency and I to have us take a look and see if your optimized IRA is at the best optimization for you or if there's better things you could be doing with your finances. And with that, we'll see you guys on the other side.